You don't lack time. You lack self-control. And that's exactly why your life isn't changing. Because if we're being honest, you have time. You just don't use it. You waste it. Scrolling, watching, avoiding, delaying, hour after hour, gone. And then you say, I don't have time. That's a lie. You have time. You just don't have control over yourself. And that's the real problem. Because without self-control, you can't build discipline. And without discipline, you can't build anything. Not success, not consistency, not a better life, nothing. Because everything requires control. Control over your actions, control over your habits, control over your mind. And right now, you don't have it. Your impulses control you. Your phone controls you. Your comfort controls you. And until you fix that, nothing changes. You'll keep doing what feels easy instead of what actually matters. And easy is dangerous because it feels good, but it destroys your future. Slowly. You don't notice it at first. It feels harmless. Just one video. Just 5 more minutes. I'll start later. But later never comes, and those small moments, they add up. They become your life. A life of delay, a life of distraction, a life of wasted potential. And deep down, you know it. You feel it, that frustration, that voice in your head saying, you're better than this, but you ignore it. Because listening to that voice means you have to change, and change is uncomfortable. It requires effort. It requires discipline. It requires self-control. And that's what you've been avoiding for a long time. But here's the truth. If you don't control yourself, something else will. Your habits, your environment, your distractions, and they will control your life. That's why you feel stuck. Because you're not in charge. You react instead of act. You follow impulses instead of making decisions, and that's weakness. Not physical weakness, mental weakness. The inability to do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and that's what's holding you back. Not your situation, not your past, not your resources. Your lack of self-control, that's it. And the moment you fix that, everything changes. But most people never do. Because self-control is hard. It's saying no to what you want for what you need. It's choosing long-term success over short-term pleasure. And your brain hates that. It wants instant reward. It wants comfort. It wants easy. That's how you're wired. But winners, they don't follow that. They override it. They train themselves to do the hard thing, even when it sucks, especially when it sucks. That's what separates them, not talent, not luck, control. They control their actions, and because of that, they control their lives. You can do the same, but you have to train it daily because self-control is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it stays weak. And right now, it's weak. That's why you quit so easily. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you struggle to stay consistent. Because you've never trained yourself to resist, to push, to act anyway. But you can start now, small, very small. Say no to something easy today. Skip the distraction. Do the work. Focus for 1 hour, just one. That's it. And then do it again tomorrow. And again. Because repetition builds control. And control builds discipline. And discipline builds your life. But it starts with awareness. You have to see the problem clearly. You don't have a time problem. You have a control problem. Fix that, and everything else follows. Your habits improve, your focus improves, your results improve. Because now, you're in charge. Not your impulses, not your distractions, you. And that's powerful. Because once you control yourself, nothing can stop you. Not laziness, not fear, not excuses. Because you don't listen to them anymore, you act, no matter what. That's what you need to become. Someone who acts. Not someone who waits, not someone who thinks. Someone who executes every single day. Because execution creates results, not intentions, not plans. Execution. So stop saying, I'll start tomorrow. Start now. Right now. Do something small, but do it. Because every action builds control. And every time you choose discipline, you become stronger. Until one day, you're not the same person anymore. You're focused, you're disciplined, you're in control, and your life reflects that because in the end, you don't get what you want. You get what you repeatedly do. So if you keep choosing distraction, you get a distracted life. If you keep choosing comfort, you get a comfortable, average life. But if you choose discipline, you get power, real power, control over yourself, control over your future, and that changes everything. So the question is simple. Are you going to stay controlled or finally take control? Because both are choices, and you're making one every single day. And you're making one every single day.